Hello, all. Uh, it's Monday, and it's a pretty good Monday so far. Let's close this. Uh, let's pop this open. All right, just so we have that there, and let's kick it up. Oop, sorry about that. All right, so um, ooh, wait a minute. All right, I'll go with that. All right, so there you go. So here we are. It's Monday. You get a lot more room when you do this. I like that, but then there's a lot of dead room in this blue space that you could do something with. Chat bar maybe there for other channels. I don't know. But I gotta tell you, these guys are really killing this app. They've improved it a lot over the last like 2 months. It's gotten super duper good. Yeah, this is a Haps restreamer. You so yeah. Anyway, I'm Trauma. Uh, on this Haps restreamer, we're broadcasting on my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. Karma Armor on Twitch and True S Armor on YouTube. It is dark in here. I was looking for my guitar. When is sunset?
Sunset will be at 6:42 p.m. today.
It's 6:42 now. Excuse me. All right. So apparently Facebook went down. I'm not on Facebook. Well, I am on Facebook, but I haven't been in my Facebook account for like a year and a half. I people pick up things during the pandemic. They restarted playing the guitar and all this, piano, right? People restarted cooking and all this stuff at the start of this pandemic. And I just gave up Facebook. I just actually went back. I'm not even really back. I haven't posted anything to my Instagram account in forever, but I go on Instagram on the average of like once or twice a month now. And I wasn't doing that before. Hey, William, good to see you. Uh, so yeah, so I have an Instagram account, and I haven't been in like I go there maybe like 3 or 4 times a month. I'm in it. Uh, I don't know. When the pandemic hit, it hit me really hard, and it hit me. I'm a very weird person. I'm a very I like conversation. I like to talk to people. I like to stand near people. I like to see your way and get your meaning, right? But I also like to play. I like to run around and toss a ball in the sun and cook with people. So I like gatherings. Everybody likes gatherings, but I mean, so I don't know. I'm weird. I'm very, I guess, earthy in a way. Earthy in the sense that I mean, we've been tracking like the moon and the stars and all this weird stuff that I don't even know why I like it, right? But I like it. Um, Oceans and like I was looking at volcanoes today and mountains and floods, all this kind of stuff. Um, Surely I can't be the only person, right? I can't be the only person who then is also um I'm out of frame already. Who then is also sort of I have both meditative and observational instincts in me, but I also have sort of showy uh soapbox issues in me, right? Normally those things aren't in the same sort of wrapping. And that's kind of like the way things go. Nobody is ever all this, all that, or the other. The only time I ever actually hear people talk about nobody's ever anything is when they talk about people's sexuality, right? No one's ever 100% heterosexual. And I always thought that was bullshit. I always thought that was bullshit. Uh, but I do believe that in thinking wise and how you view the world, it does become a smorgasbord, right? Because it's what you think about it. Um, and what your interests are. And everybody's interests, I mean, 70% of it may be in the fat meat of the culture, right? But on the periphery, you may like knitting, and that's a rare thing. You may collect comic books, and that's a rare thing. It always was, even though comic book movies are big now, right? You may, well, action genre, action, romance, are all reading, and now reading is becoming a small branch of this society. Uh, so nobody's ever 100%. If you give somebody a book, everybody's gonna 50% will pick this, but how many will pick history and biography and just between or jokes and trivia, right? But in the middle of that, uh, a lot of people will pick the same thing, likely cookbooks and how-to books, because people are curious that way, whether they read them or not. So I was like, man, I don't know. All right, I'm in my own head because it's just been a weekend and it's dark in here. Oh, we should hit this. Okay, so I was 6 minutes late today because I fell down like a rabbit hole of, like I said, volcanoes and shit like this. I think which started this rant, this weird little rant. Excuse me. Um, because I was trying to get these E and F chords down, and I was ruminating on picking up a hobby while sort of getting all my political angst off my chest with this whole thing. This whole thing's really supposed to be about music. Remember, that's how we started like 4 months ago. Um, we stopped streaming the music because I was like, who wants? I gotta go get my guitar. Who wants to watch me try and learn chords for 5 hours a day, which is what we were doing. Uh, and it's just, you know, there's got to be a place for average everyday people who don't prescribe to any uniqueism, right? I mean, in the sense that something just for the fat meat of it, like everybody, this is what we do here. Uh, there are no vegetarians or vegans. There are no peanut allergies. We serve whatever we can feed you, you will eat it, right? It's that. The only thing we have on the table, like a restaurant, the only thing we have on the table is salt, pepper, and ketchup, right? Those three things are the most ubiquitous things, right? Do you have any? No, we don't. Um, what else? It's something just like that, where the only thing we serve are the super popular things, right? I mean, that's if there was a group like that, not political, right? So if you say we had a restaurant like that, on going on with the restaurant theme, well, what do you serve? We had hot dogs, hamburgers, uh, spaghetti and meatball, all the super popular spaghetti and meatballs. We have French fries, and we have fried chicken and white bread, which is the most popular thing, and white bread as a, if you want, like, and we have sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly, ham and cheese, bologna and cheese, and grilled cheese, and that's it, right? The most, yeah, people will be like, meh, but something tells me, and that's stuff that you can't charge people a fucking arm and a leg for, right? So just imagine if you had that kind of same sensibility in sort of like just like a social group of, all right, this is what we want, right? We want just the police to be fair, right? We're not going to get into politics, but we just want them to be fair. We don't want our sons and daughters treated badly. Not all the racial politics out of it. That's what we stand for. What else do we stand for? Being righteous to your spouse, right? What else do we stand for? Uh, in the most modern way for kids to be rebellious, because kids are not supposed to be exactly like their parents, right? So that includes change. So you have this group, and everybody just kind of like We gather together. We watch the super popular shit: football, baseball, basketball. Now upcoming soccer. I think hockey is falling off, right? So you have this kind of. But if you want to do niche stuff, you can go do niche stuff. But I think the idea with this society has gotten so my group versus your group versus this group. So they call it tribal, right? So tribal, but even the tribes have factions in it. And the only tribe that's winning is like these super rich Wall Street guys who put messages out in the media, right? And then have enough money to essentially corrupt once honest people who were sent to Congress, right? And then before you know it, you're here on an internet channel trying to learn guitar uh, to keep your sanity. This is my therapy, people. Excuse me. But yeah, I often think about why doesn't just like I don't want to join a religious. I want to join a church, but I don't want to join a religious group, right? I don't want to join a men's group, right? I want everybody to be able to show up. I don't really want religion in it, but I want essentially a sense of like the vibe you get if you're at an outdoor barbecue, right? A lot of laughing, a lot of drinking, some music, right? You don't want any fighting. You don't want anybody being mean or upsetting the children. You don't want uh, somebody to set off the women folk, right? You want fun and laughter and whatever. And then at the end of it, you know, you stand for what everybody 90% of the place stands for, or whatever. 70%. What did we say? 70%? 70% of the place stands for. Not half, but like 70%. All right. So if we had like we had this kind of like group, right? And at the end of like the week where you have some people may have a scotch, but and no one gets if someone shows up and gets blotted ridiculously drunk the next day, people talk to him because that's outside of where you're at. We don't mind you drinking, fine, right? I would even say if you don't drink, you can't be in because that's outside the bound. We don't want drunks and we don't want teetotalers, right? Right. So it's this: if we serve coffee, you can either have it black, milk, or sugar, which is I think the way it works. Well, there are no espressos, there are no ventela. So it's just kind of like this fat meat of like the culture, so you can know what people want. So at the end of like, let's say that thing, people go, all right, we're going to pass around the thing, and this is a question: do we think what was the thing? The Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts should merge. I always thought this was a good idea. This was something that happened last year because I think the the Boy Scouts were going out of business, so they wanted to recruit girls, and the Girl Scouts were mad about it. But some mothers said the Boy Scouts is a better program, and we put our daughters in the Girl Scouts, thinking it'd be sort of the same thing, and the Girl Scouts is not, and the girls were upset, and some girls are in Boy Scout troops already. So I was like, huh. So why would you not? I know you started in separate places, but in this modern era of non-segregation of the sexes, why wouldn't this be a why would this be a bad thing? And I think, like I always say, why I always get into here, people protect their fiefdoms, right? So those ladies had a nice little fiefdom going, and I think women are the only ones who can still have an all girls anything. Women and black people, you can't have an all white guys anything. People lose their mind, right? Uh, so there's a lot of So a lot of the minorities have like all, or you could base it on the religion, and then people begin to play these fiefdom games of and I think that's the problem. That's why I think you need not all these small groups with a lot of money influencing shit. You need to go, hey, okay, at the end of this barbecue, uh, this is apparently a legal policy. Are we for this legal policy? Right. So someone thinks the ERA, which apparently isn't passed yet, the Equal Rights Amendment, um, it's not ratified by. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm last generation's man. Me and my man was talking about this, my homie. Here's the thing. That's a good question. Can white people belong to the NAACP? Um, that is a good question. I think technically you can, right? Technically you can. Uh, but remember, the NAACP was founded by like 3 white lawyers and 4 black lawyers at the turn of the century. We can look it up. But this is, I try and remind people of this, even as I try not to lose my mind with race and racism. Um, this whole thing got off the ground because abolitionists, mostly the Quakers, right, were like, "This is wrong. This is against God," and they stood against American racism as far back as the 1600s and all throughout England when they were over there, the 1600s, the 15 and 1600s, yeah. But they were the first to like. I mean, it wasn't always accepted by everybody, and then people got to come here and from you know nowhere, Germany, in like 1600s, and come here, get a plot of land, and buy people, and get ridiculously rich, and then right back to the old country, how great America was. So yeah, the I mean, this is the history of the place. This is the history the Bible wants to talk about, or they want to control the narrative of. But let's look up NAACP founders. What was it? Three? Herman Moskowitz, William English, right? Oh, let's flip this. So you had this gentleman, Oswald Garrison Villa, was an American journalist, editor of the New York Evening Post. He was a civil rights activist along with his mother, Fannie Villard. 1872, did die October 1st, 1949. Archibald Grimke. Archibald Grimke was an American lawyer, intellectual journalist, diplomat, and community leader in 19th and early 20th century. He graduated from Freedom School, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, and Harvard Law School, and served as an American consul to the Dominican Republic from 1894 to 1898. That guy was black. Lillian Ward was an American nurse, humanitarian, and author. She was known for her contributions to human rights, was the founder of the American Community of Nursing. She founded the Henry Street Settlement in New York City, was an early advocate to have nurses in public schools. Right? These are the founders of the NAACP. William English Walling was an American labor reformer and social Republican born in a wealthy family in Louisville, Kentucky. He founded the National Women's Trade Union. He was for women back in the 1903 National Women's Trade Union League in 1903. He founded the Women's Trade Union League, right? So you always need people who are part of the system to use their money, their connections for you, right? It's not always about a fight from the outside in. Henry Moskowitz was a civil rights activist, one of the co-founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Born September 1879, died December 18th, 1936. It's like 50. Oh, Belle Moskowitz, who's up here. Ida B. Wells, Mary White Ovington. So essentially, there was like 3 black people who founded the NAACP with one, two, three, four, five wealthy or well established white people, right? Uh, so I try, you got to remember this. I mean, you want to have some direction uh, and control over. Good Lord, what am I doing here? You have control of what you're doing in a system that's for you and you, but you have to understand and respect the history and not demonize everybody who comes through in these later years, which I think we've done. Because it flies in the face was how the founding was. Even as the blood spilt was black people's blood, right? Lynchings and beat burnings and bombings. Ida B. Wells, National Women's History Month. Ida B. Wells was an American investigative journalist, educator, and an early leader in the civil rights movement. She's one of the founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And W.E.B. Du Bois, Edward Bergenhart, William Edward Burghardt Du Bois was an American sociologist, socialist, historian and civil rights activist, Pan-Africanist, and author, writer, and editor. Born 1868, 4 years after the Civil War ended, died August 23, 1963. Managed to live long enough to see the civil rights movement re-kick off. Notable moments. 1963, a mentor to a generation of leaders across the across the African diaspora. Du Bois died at the age of 95 in Accra, Ghana on, on August 27, 1863. The cost of liberty is less than the price of repression. The hell does that even mean? The cost of liberty is less than the price of repression. Yeah, okay, I see what he means. Okay. But what of black women? I most sincerely doubt if any other race of women could have brought its fineness up through so devilish a fire. All right. We should cut on the light. Ooh-wee. I don't know why I want my guitar in here, even as I'm not gonna play it. Just looking for that. All right. So let's hop into some stuff. Facebook went down. Har. Discuss why I'm not on Facebook. So we're not going to talk about Facebook going down. I wanted to talk about the Supreme Court. Signs of encouragement as U.S. sees dropping COVID cases and hospitalizations. But just a week ago, you were telling me how all the hospitals were full. I'm so ugh. Here's the thing. We want to talk about that I heard a gunshot. Oh my God, a DEA agent was killed on an Amtrak train, and so was the suspect. That right there is 2 counts of fucking federal murder, idiot. More serious charges against Brian Landry, extremely likely if he's found alive. Yeah, what? He's looking not to be charged with homicide. What else do you have other than homicide? The only thing more serious than murder, in my book, is treason. Right? Am I wrong? Nobody wants to fuck with traitors, right? But hey, it's the new America. I grew up thinking that loyalty and betrayal were things that we as Americans didn't. Disloyalty, and like Benedict Arnold, that kind of shit. We're not supposed to do, but now it's like do anything, right? Because what matters now is money, and that I think that's been a thing since the '80s. It's really but you've raised like a generation of people who think that do anything to get money is legitimate. So now you got all these drug dealers handing out awards, and it's dark. Oh boy, here we go. So the Supreme Court, you know what? I can't even find the article. The Supreme Court, people have lost sort of faith in it. Do we want to? Yeah, let's drop this. Has been openly sort of like just kind of rolling their eyes at them. So the Supreme Court is on sort of a push. Oops, sorry about that. It's on sort of a push to sort of, I want to say push back, but also kind of like, what do they call it when you want to You want the public to view you better? They send you out on like a tour. What? Approval of Supreme Court down 40%. A new low. We're gonna read this, but first of all, what is this trooper business that you're talking about? Illinois State Police Merit Board. Yeah, cameras all over the place. What's wrong with people? Doesn't is found shot in squad car ruled the suicide. Yeah, I mean, let me guess. There was no. There was. I'm gonna read. Do we even want to? All right, we're gonna read some of this because I want to know if there was a camera in the car. Right, this is not that hard. Um, and if there's no cameras in the car in the 20th century, why not? We're 21 years into the new millennium. Get your shit together, police departments. They're not just a fucking for lawsuit material, but they're also to indemnify what the police have to do in all forms that they operate in, whether they be troopers or whatever, right? I'm sure a ton of them show that people acted properly. I'm sure a ton of them show that, and they never get released. All right, so let's see what we got. The death of an Illinois State Police trooper found Friday. I'm just hearing about this on the Dan Ryan Expressway has been ruled a suicide, according to autopsy results. Joe Macron, 35, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, according to medical exam. The incident happened around 1:45 p.m. in the afternoon in the inbound lane at the 43rd Street station statement. Prosecutor to his aid and police drove him to a hospital where he died. What was he playing with his gun? The late trooper's mother, Linda, told the Sun-Times tonight that her son had wanted to be an officer since he was a toddler. He was a Chicago native and Hyde Park Academy high school graduate who dedicated his life to policing, she said. He was a sweetheart and he loved everybody, she said. He just wanted to protect people and make this city and state better. During a news conference an hour after the shooting, Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly said troopers may seem like superheroes on many days, but they are not immortal. They are not indestructible. They're humans with hearts, minds, and souls as fragile as the next person, she said. They have a breaking point. I guess that's that. I think a lot of the problem is also how the all American news expresses the news like it's a war. It makes people have all this animus to each other. All right, so yeah, that is sad. This is a sad thing right here that we just read. I mean, yeah, what do you do with that? But I think in all things there are anomalies, right? He pulls over on the side of the road and commits suicide at work. I don't know. I feel bad for him. All right. Washington, D.C. America's opinion of U.S. Supreme Court has worsened, with 40% down from 49% in July, saying that they approve of the job the High Court is doing. This represents by 2 percentage points, a new low in the Gallup trend, which dates back to 2000. The poll was conducted shortly after the Supreme Court declined to block a controversial Texas abortion law. In August, the court summarily allowed college vaccine mandates to proceed and rejected a Biden administration attempt to extend the former moratorium on evictions during the pandemic. Yeah, they're all rich as fuck. No one looks into them, and it's against the law to look into a congressman or a senator or Supreme Court justice. I tell you, the first thing they do is they get up there and they build a wall around themselves, and then they aim their arrows inward at you because you represent a new regime if you're not for it. And you always know what happens when governments fall and new regimes take over, right? Why are all American politicians underwater in the polling? Everyone is unhappy. You think that they would try and fix that, but their whole position is fuck you, I have an army. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People really do think that America won't fall into civil war. When we started in civil war and had a civil war against each other, right? We had a civil war against the motherland, right? Britain, and we don't call it the motherland because they're another country now. But if we had fallen, it would have been called a civil war. That failed. But it succeeded, right? Now we had another civil war. If that had failed, there'd be another country called America, its mother country that it broke away from. And now it's a whatever the fuck, right? But no. So now it just goes as it's a group of armed people with different philosophical beliefs fighting for control of the damn thing. It's that simple. Remember, I mean, those guys running up in the Capitol freaked a lot of old people out who are comfortable in their position, and now they can't stop talking about it because it affected them personally. But it affected you. That just be on TV going, "Oh, that is outrageous. We're going to write a law bill." Blah 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 blah. And 5 minutes later, off the camera, taking money from lobbyists and da 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 da, you know, and messing with some intern. But this was like, oh my God, I'm having nightmares about it. I thought they were going to kill me. What? We need stronger laws to protect me. More laws to protect congressmen and senators. I think you guys are well fucking protected. Everybody's insider trading. People can, I mean, yeah. Don't even get me started on why this place is in this weird position. And I keep saying that somebody needs to come along and fix it. Everybody, and here's the thing: everybody knows what the problems are. No one cares to fix it, right? Because, and I think the reason is everybody's got a fiefdom. This is how I run my graft. You mind your business, I'll mind my business. Nobody needs to look into anybody. But meanwhile, people are really wondering, like, here, where's our help? As you give money to outside countries. We just had that thing about the Israeli Iron Dome, right? And people are going, it's just $1 billion. Just. Well, then you can just give it to, like, you know, schools or something, and make sure that the people who you give the money to are actually not incompetent. Get rid of them, right? So there's all that going on here. You're not going to get rid of people in this thing because they help you with your graft. You don't want people to look too closely. You want to complain and then say it's this group or that group. And that's how it goes as long as no one's violent and we're just giving speeches and I can keep robbing you. That's what's going on here. So, and this is all done because people at the very highest top, the legal people, co-sign it as legal in some bullshit way. And this is what it is, right? I said this before. This would have been fine 40 years ago, but now everything is instant, right? I remember I was watching the OJ. Sorry, I was watching the Muhammad Ali documentary. They were talking about Ken Burns documentary, and they were talking about how it went to the Supreme Court. Is this a religious exemption to avoid the draft? And there's a phrase in there where the Supreme Court wanted to rule on this, but not have it affect everybody. They wanted this once special ruling for this one case and this one guy just to get rid of it. And I was like, surely that can't be real. That can't be real. And apparently it was, right? So and I like Muhammad Ali, don't get me wrong, but the idea is I think people are so comfortable with, we can say and do the stupidest shit at this level, no one's going to challenge us. And if they do, we'll throw them in jail. You keep co-signing bad, ooh, good Lord. You keep co-signing bad form. All right, so let's get into this. And I've said it before. I don't mind if you get tips from the inside and become a rich family, as long as you do something for the people. And they're not even doing that. American opinion of the U.S. Supreme Court, and we're at an all-time high for bullshit apologies from these people, by the way. They do wild shit, and then it becomes public, and then they apologize, and they keep it moving, and pay no price. I'm thinking, like clearing out that square for the photo op with Bush. All right, so here we go. American, and this time we're not going to stop. American opinion of the U.S. Supreme Court has worsened, with 40% down from 40% down from 49% in July to saying they approve of the job the High Court is doing. This represents, good Lord, by 2 percentage points, a new low in the Gallup trend, which dates back to 2000. The poll was conducted shortly after the Supreme Court declined to block a controversial Texas abortion bill. So they just let that run through, and everybody's hot about it. In August, the court summarily allowed college vaccine mandates, so you can't go back to college unless we mandate you get this vaccine, to proceed, and rejected a Biden administration attempt to extend the federal moratorium on evictions. All right. Do you approve Supreme Court job? Let's make this bigger. Up. Nice. Ugh. Do you approve or disapprove of the way the Supreme Court is handling its job? That should be their job. Its job. All right, fine. Look at this poll. 2001, shortly after 9/11, right? And it's 62%. They haven't been that high since 2001. What happened in 2005 to 2009 that they were so liked? Obama came in when? 2008? Right? Okay. These are the Bush years. These are the Obama years. These are the Trump years. 14. Right? Yeah, these are the Trump years. 49, 43, 47, 42. 2017. 2009. Hold on, wait. 2019. See, these are the Trump years. They got positive during the Trump years. These are the Obama years. These are the Bush years, 2001 to 2008. Then the Obama years, 2008 to 2016, right? And they went down. What is this peak? What is that? Yeah, they've been going, and then they've been up under, and then they're going down. All right, fine. Oh boy. All right. So I can't remember what was in front of the Supreme Court because I'm not really well versed in Supreme. I know the giant major fuck ups, but I'm not really well versed in what the Supreme Court is doing. I should be. I think I have a burr about it because I always wanted to be one of the things I wanted to be that I thought would be awesome, but silly. The latest findings from the Gallup annual governance survey conducted September 1st through the 17th, which was about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, come a little more than a year after 58% of Americans approved of the Supreme Court, among the highest reading in the trend. The previous low in Gallup trend included 42% approval in 2005 after the court expanded government eminent domain power. Yeah, the government gets to take more of this shit. And again in 2006, after the Supreme Court ruled college could continue to consider using race as a factor. Right. I remember this. Um, Race as a factor in admission. When the young woman sued because she couldn't get into like University of Texas, she said it was, and they were like, "No, the place is fucking unfair. They can keep going, keep saying we're going to bring in XYZ amount of Black, Hispanic women. Do they still say handicap? I remember they tried to make us say handy capable. I was like, I'm not saying that. But you know what I'm saying. People, Disability Act, right? The Disability, I think, is the title. After its issue, let's go back. After the Supreme Court ruled college can continue considering using race as a factor in admissions, a decision most Americans opposed. Yeah, most Americans. All right. In 2013, 43% approved of the Supreme Court after its ruling that expanded the rights of same-sex couples and weakened the 1965 Voters' Rights Act. Good Lord. This mouse really is not helpful in this endeavor. It's an excellent mouse, don't get me wrong. It's a super awesome gaming mouse. But man, sometimes I just wanted to stamp. In 2013, 43% approved of the Supreme Court, 65 voted right. Okay, so here we are. This is going to take forever to get through this article. I need to get my shit together. Now, a majority of 53% disapproved of the job. 50. Wow, they're underwater. So the president's underwater. The vice president's underwater. Is Nancy Pelosi underwater? I think she is. Wow. All right. This is going to be really interesting. Next September is going to be super ridiculous. And here in Virginia, we have an off election for the governorship. And should I slide over? For the governorship, I may have to rearrange this whole room. I keep saying stuff like that, and then I don't do jack. Uh, we have a special election. Well, not a special election. We have an off-year election coming this September for the governor of the great state of Virginia. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm sick of Clintonites and the Democrats, but I also know a bullshit artist when I see one. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but I'm also of the mind with the black vote that the society kept us from voting and then made us vote at gunpoint for whoever they, which is the Klan, wanted us to vote for. So now you should definitely vote, but it's also your right to sit that bitch out if you wanna. So don't let people guilt you into doing that shit. Because I will kick back if your political what do you call them? My political options are dismal. You should have voted for Hillary Clinton. You should mind your business. How about that? I know evil. I'm not voting for. Who else you got? Well, we got nothing but this. Well, then I don't want that. It's like going to a restaurant. Okay, I'll have the steak and potatoes and an order of string beans. Yeah, all we have is liver and porridge. Yeah, but I don't want that. It's just, well, if you're a real American, you will eat this liver. Yeah, I am a real American. I'm not. I don't want that, and I'm leaving. And thank you. It's that. What else you got? We have a can of tuna fish. No, I don't want any of that. Why don't I just sit this one out and come back tomorrow when you got something I want? Well, how dare you not come in and do whatever we want you to do so we can hit you with this bill, right? Isn't that what it is? You're doing something good for them, putting them in office for all this power and glory, and they're not doing anything for you. And when you go, I'm not getting anything done, I'm not even gonna go, then all of a sudden they're trying to guilt you in or fearmonger you into going back to vote for them. Maybe you should come up with a better plan. My new favorite is Hillary Clinton getting bahooed in Scotland. American, um, it's a look, man. It's a propaganda machine. It says some people who are bad are doing a good job because they are useful to the people pulling strings and getting not to pay taxes and doing all this evil bullshit. We should look into the not Pentagon Papers, not the Pandora Papers. What was it called? They just released all these documents, like Putin has all these billions in the Maldives and all this. And I was looking at um the Sagar and Crystal Ball show. I forget the name of it right now. And they made a good point that there's not very many Americans on it because the American system allowed you to cheat, so you're not breaking the law, so you don't have to sneak off and hide money. The American system is written by rich people and their bankers to essentially look. Can you imagine if no, you don't need to imagine. The racists wrote laws, and how did they look? How did they look? They wrote laws for themselves and to be able to abuse people, and they're still on the books. How did the laws that the men wrote for women look? Did the women agree with them? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is where we are. The rules are unfair. They take more money out of the system than they put in, and they don't pay taxes on any of it. And people are, like I say, in 40 years ago, you could have kept it quiet, but now it's the internet, and everything breaks. And it doesn't take 30 years to break. It breaks in like two, three, and five at the longest. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants your head on a platter, and then you have to tell them how they don't like uh, what is it? They don't like college people. What is it? They hate education. I remember hearing that one. You have they also say what was the other one? Um, we need career politicians right? Like so people like we want term limits. Oh no, we need career right. And but meanwhile they pay themselves an exorbitant amount of money. They insider trade. They send all these people off to war. Right? They surround themselves with sycophants. Why do you think America is not ripe for somebody to take this bitch over? And I don't even know how that's going to look. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. I'm leaning toward it like being a bad thing. I think the only people who romance fucking civil wars and bullshit like that is Hollywood, right? So, all right. We're gonna finish reading this. I'm gonna go grab an ice cube and check to see if this sage is burning. All right. Let's take a second. Give me all your attention, my brothers and sisters. This is sage. Every time I go by, some people go, "Oh, you're getting rid of the spirits in your house." I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing." But you should smell stuff more often. You should. Cologne is nice. Some of it's horrible, but some scents are nice. Have you smoked so much that you can't smell anything? You should touch things more often, right? All these small things that you kind of like, but I think people just watch TV and zone out. All right. How am I gonna like this? We're gonna like this on my drawing pad just so it doesn't fall into the carpet. Actually, we can do this. I can use this ashtray. I just need to get it burning. Got a fan behind me. All right. I need to block the fan before I get it burning. You ready? Here we go. People used to be interesting, or used to at least be allowed to be interesting. I feel like everybody's the same person now. Everybody thinks that if I was more like X, and the people who the people who try to be, well, not try to be, but the people who are genuinely odd or interesting get labeled because they won't buy the Nikes or the this is this or the thatty that. And like I said, there's a place for that. But most of us are in the fat middle of we're not so unique or interesting. But that outside thing that should make you interesting, it should be allowed to happen. And like for instance, some people are physical, right? But they've undercut sports in high school, right? Junior high school and high school. Some people are emotional, right? They are reading and stuff like this. They undercut performance in high school. Um, some people are homebodies, right? They undercut home economics. Home economics when I was in high school was learning how to cook, like home economics, like the economics of living in the house. I guess it was the 50s. It will have a different name today. Maybe they call that, you know, domestic engineering or some shit. But that's not good. But one of the I one of the first things I cooked for with a bunch of people was in home economics, and it was fun, right? Um, Economics, like they used to be clubs, drama clubs, uh, chess clubs, the economics club, the young Democrats and young Republicans club, right? All these things in high school. What's in high school now? What's in high schools now? I mean, the idea of the only interesting thing you find in your life is on television or that you have to buy it. People should really be unhappy about that. And when I go, why is it like this? I am not a hippie. I remember what was allowed, right? And now people don't. Mind you, I haven't been in high school in a while, but young people aren't given direction to do any of this shit, and all that stuff the money that would have been there is in private hands, and now you know, you wonder where you slipped up and went wrong. Maybe you should go back a few steps, re-implement some things. Um, the idea that they don't even want to give kids lunch in schools, but also it's a two-way street. A lot of these parents use school to babysit the children, their kids, right? Uh, what do you do about them? Yeah, there's a forest fire going on. This is a lot of smoke around my computer. Yeah, there's a forest fire, uh, and I think it's a social one. Oh man! All right, so let's put this in the other room. Do we want the whole thing burning? Hold on. Yeah. All right. Hold on. We gotta make sure this is burning before I put it in there. It's half burning. So what was I going on about? About the promise of the young people and what those in power have taken away from high school. Because look, if you get a well-rounded young person, they'll become a well-rounded adult. If you break them in childhood, they become broken adults, and you can then talk about how you need more jails and more cops, and I'm the person to save you. When what you did is you broke these souls when they were young, so you could harvest the paranoia and bullshit of it like 15 or 20 or however long, many years later. All right, good enough. Let's put this in the other room. Ooh, this place is smoky. I might have to call a fireman. Oh my God, this place is smoky. So, I love broadcasting and talking to you guys because I get to ruminate about my political philosophy. And one day, people are going to find this in 1,000 years, and they're going to go, "Man, that guy was onto something," or they're going to go, "That guy's an idiot." Either way, it's my political philosophy. So let's get to the rest of this. So now, the majority of the country does not believe that you are good at your gig. Why can't we fire you people? I've always said, look, the Supreme Court, I get it. Maybe they should serve one term of 13 years, longest in American history, right? 13 is a sacred number. That way we're not fucking stuck with these people and their bad ideas forever. Unfireable breeds arrogance. It really does. And then after this, they can go do something as high court, once high court judges, and you can heap laurels on them afterwards. But to be there for 50 years and be wrong, or give the shop away. No border wall. Let everybody just come in. Now, the new laws that you have to live, each one you have to take in somebody and have them live on your couch. Like, what the fuck? Right? That's just as bad as the ridiculous conservatives and their whole. The new Supreme Court says everybody gets 3 guns. I don't want a gun. Socialist. Wait, what? What? I mean, what kind of, yeah, you got to be able to get rid of some of these people. Some of them are brilliant in their day, and it's that simple. Is that sticky? That is sticky. What just happened there? Did I? Oh, sweet Jesus! All right. We're not done. We're gonna. Oh my goodness, we have been streaming for almost an hour. Almost an hour. One of these days, we're gonna start gaming. We're gonna do this seriously. We're gonna. I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. We're gonna do this like an actual television network. All right. That means every Monday we'll have a show to tune into, or every Tuesday or whatever. And that means I have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I have to be perpetually tracking ideas for different. That's I mean that's it's not always, you want to try and get good at this, right? We're trying to get good at this, we're trying to get good at the guitar. Uh and this is great, but man, I think I really need to be able to put together like a cohesive idea from stem to stern like I used to do. That I totally stopped doing. All right. I think it went out already. I gotta tell you, man, sage does not burn long. Unless I stick it under like the opposite side of a fan. Um, in 2013, 43% approved of the Supreme Court. It issued a rule that expanded the rights of same-sex couples and weakened the 1965 Voters' Right Act. Right? Yeah. See. Now, a majority of 50% of Americans disapprove of the job the Supreme Court is doing, exceeding the prior high disapproval of 52% from 2016. A September 9-13 Monmouth University poll found 54% of U.S. adults disagree, and 39% agree with the Supreme Court to allow the Texas abortion ban to go into law. 54%. That's 5 in 10. All right. The September survey also reveals a steep decline over the past year in percentage of Americans who express a great deal or a fair amount of trust in in the judicial branch of the federal government, from 67% in 2020 to 54% today. The current reading is only the second sub 60% trust score for the judicial branch in Gallup trends, along with 53% reading. See, and here's the thing. What is your take on the Supreme Court? Are they supposed to enforce the will of the people? Or are they supposed to be fucking emperor sitting up there going, no, this is not good for any of you? What is it? What is it? Because if they're sitting up here going, you know, I mean, oh my God, it's so. There's a siren in the distance. Trust and confidence in the judicial branch of the federal government, U.S. Supreme Court, full trend. 1973, right? 79, 80, 82, 88, 91, a slow rise up to 71. At 76 and 97, it took 20 years to get from 63% to 70%. And then a giant bump in 2000 up to 80. Clinton years, right? Janet Marino on the bench, or not Janet Marino on the bench. Then 75, 75, 69, 76. What happened in 1999 that it hit 80% approval? 2021. In recent weeks, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, Clarence Thomas, and Stephen Breyer have made public speeches defending the court and its decision making. She just got there. He's been sitting there for 30 years and saying fucking nothing. He's not serious. And this guy is obviously a fucking stooge. All right, so having made public speeches for defending the court and its decision making, these speeches have come amid pressure from some Democrats to expand court membership, presumably to add more liberal-leaning justices. No. You gave away the shop 5 years ago when you made that bullshit deal with Girdle the Turtle, what is his name? Mitch McConnell, about putting these conservative justices into these slots. Like it wasn't going to come back to haunt you. And now the 9-man Supreme Court is 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats. I'm sorry, 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Fucking ridiculous. You got completely played while you shoved money in your pocket. It's utter, I mean, and now this is you. They did to you what China's doing to us. It's very simple. It's not that hard. This is likely the response to Republican President Donald Trump nominating 3 conservative justices in his 4-year presidential term. The first after he got 3 justices in 4 years. The first after the Republican-led Senate refused to consider Democratic President Barack Obama's nomination in 2016, which is more political bullshit. So don't. I mean, it's doing whatever you want at that level of government. Okay. Citing the upcoming presidential election, the last confirmed by the Senate days before the 2020 election. So he got into office and got to nominate somebody to the Supreme Court almost immediately. Robbed the last president of doing so. Right? Perpetual warmongering. The amount of people in the American government who should be arrested is not small. The plurality of Americans have consistently viewed the court as being about right, ideologic, and that continues today, with 40% describing it in that way. Bullshit. However, perhaps reflecting changes in the composition of the court or its recent decision, a new high of 37% up from 32% a year ago considered the current Supreme Court too conservative. The group signed in that percentage that the High Court was too conservative were 33% in 2019 and 32% in 2007. What happened in 2007? And 2020, all under Republican presidents. Okay. Meanwhile, 20% described the court as too liberal. Okay. That's 2 people and 10 people. So I don't really care. Uh, 3 to 4 people I care about because that's 30 to 40%. That's a third. That's a lot. But 20% I really don't. Right? I mean, even 25% is 1 in 4. So that is similar to the 22% rating in this way a year ago, but lower than the high point of 32% and 37% recorded when Obama was president. Throughout Obama's 2 terms, during which he didn't do anything though, through Obama's 2 terms, during which 2 of his nominees were confirmed, more Americans perceive the court as being too liberal than being too conservative. That's because and that is because the media, once the Democrats in charge, the media tells you, "Ooh, the Democrats going to give away the store," and start like human Republicans, weird stuff and faction and animus. And when the Republicans are in charge, the media leans that, "Ooh, the liberals going when the Republicans are, ooh, they're gonna reinstitute all this wild shit," and then it makes the other side paranoid. And meanwhile, you're still buying newspapers and hitting clicks on dumb websites to generate revenue. You know, I say it all the time. Sometimes it's good to have a horse in the race because then you're pulling for something. But to take money from both ends is just the most sinister thing. All right, we've been streaming for an hour. Looks like we've got 15 minutes. We may go a little longer. But man, throughout Obama's 2 terms, during which 2 of his nominees were confirmed, more Americans perceive the court as being, we just went through that. U.S. adult perception of Supreme Court ideology. This is like four polls of the same question. In general, do you think the current Supreme Court is too liberal, too conservative, or just about right? Green is liberal, blue is conservative, ... Oh, I'm sorry. Green is liberal. Solid green is liberal. Solid blue is just about right. And ... is too conservative. So too conservative and about right are where we are. Too liberal is, so 20% think it's too liberal. All right, so we don't care about the 2 out of 10. But in this year, 3 out of 10 people believe it's too conservative, and 4 out of 10 people believe that it's about right. No one believes it's too liberal. It's either too conservative or it's about right. What does that mean? It's too conservative or it's about right. It could be more conservative to make it absolutely right, or it could be a little less conservative to make it about right. Either way, this says the place is leaning more conservative than liberal. The nation the nation wants more conservativeness than liberalism, is what this tells me right here. Okay. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, a nation of religious people and fucking racists who hate tomorrow. Why would you think anything else? All right. As might be expected, those who see the court's ideology as too far left or too far right are less likely to express confidence in the institution and to approve of the job it's doing. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. If I think you're too conservative, I'm not going to have confidence in the job you're doing, and vice versa. Okay, that makes sense. And might be expected, those who see the court's ideology as too far left or too far right are less likely to express confidence in the institution and to approve of the job it's doing. In fact, the 2 groups hold nearly identical views of the court, with just 1 in 3 saying they are confident in it, and fewer than 1 in 5 approving of the way it's handling its job. Yeah, 1 in 5 is 20%, which is not a lot. With just 1 in 3 saying they are confident in its. See, but 1 in 3 is 30%, right? Versus, God, see, I hate when they play these. This is why I read numbers like this, because 1 in 3 versus 1 in 5 is a totally different animal. Why don't you go 1 in to make this sound better. He should have said, 33, 3 out of 10 people say they are confident and fewer than 2 in 10 people say, you know what I'm saying? But the way he makes it sound, it's the 1 in 3 sounds like it's not a big deal. But 1 in 3 is 3 people. A third of you. All right. For every dollar you make, give me 33 cents. When you're a billionaire, you will have given me $333 million, right? Whereas for every dollar you make, give me 20 cents. When you're a billionaire, I have $200 million and you have $800 million. It's different. It's different. It's different. It's doing, in fact, the two groups hold nearly identical views, right? No, that's good, right? That it's they say that they are confident in its fewer than 1 in 5 approval of the way it's handling. In contrast, 81% of those who believe the Supreme Court's ideology is about right and confident in it, and 75% approve of its job is doing. In contrast to what? Approval of and confidence in the Supreme Court. Approve 17, disapprove. Court is liberal. Approve 17, disapprove 76. Court is about right. 75% say yeah. So 7 and 10, 7.5 and 10, right? Court is too conservative. 1 in like, well, let's like, yeah, okay, that's 20%. Okay. So we're gonna say this is like 2 and this is 8. So yeah, that's 2 people out of 10 people say it's too conservative. Yeah, those are the lame people who don't want to drink. And I'm making these people in my mind, right? At a house party, they don't want to drink. They're Bible thumpers. The music's too loud. You got the 2 conservatives. The 2 of you need to lead the party. The other 8 of us are going to have a good time, right? The court is about right. So 7. The court is too good, right? That's about right. Disapprove of this. Yeah, just people disapprove of the thing the 2 people are saying. So 2 people said something, 7 people disapproved with it. Right. Okay. I just want to make sure. I had to get behind my own logic here. Court is about right. So 7 of the same group think that things are going fine. Nah, the music is loud enough. The party is thumping. Meanwhile, 2 people disapprove of the party. All right. So okay, I got you. Court is too liberal. Now, the people who think that the place is too liberal are essentially a little under 2 people. So someone is saying what? The court is too liberal. No one thinks it's too liberal. Everyone disagrees. What group is saying it's too liberal? I think the group who's saying it's too liberal and the group who are saying it's too conservative really match up here. So everybody, wow, this is how you court is about right. So I gotta say these have to be fringe numbers, right? Because the people who are saying that the court is about right are still 7 and 10. Confidence in the court. Court's too liberal. Great deal, fair amount. Course 81-36. And the same thing down here. What was the question? Maybe it's how they worded the question. All right. All right. Perception of whether the Supreme Court ideology is appropriate are influenced by Americans' own political leanings. Yeah, duh. That's why you called me to take your poll. The large majority of Democrats, 66%, describe the court as too conservatives, while 25% say it's about right. 8% too liberal. Really? Democrats describe it as too conservative, right? 25% say it's about right, and 8% say it's too liberal. In contrast, 56% believe that the Supreme Court ideology is about right. Well, yeah, because everybody's a conservative judge now. Okay. While 33% say it's too liberal and 6 say it's too conservative. So the magic here is this number of 6% who think it's too conservative and this 8% who think it's too liberal. Um, Compared with a year ago before Barrett was confirmed and increased the number of Republican nominations from 5 to 6. Yeah, so 9 people on the Supreme Court, 6 of them are conservative judges. So yeah, they're talking about the cops can murder as many people on the street as they want. 6 Republicans are more likely to say that the Supreme Court is about right. Meanwhile, Democrats and independents are more likely than the 22. I just said that in 2020 to say it's too conservative. All of these shifts have been modest, less than 10 points. Why would it be less than 10 points? Because everybody's raging about this. Why would it be less than 10 points? Well, hold it. Let's think about this. You got 6 Supreme Court justices on the bench, right? The Democrats think it's too conservative, but only by 10 points. What? Only by 10 points. Why only 10 points? Why wouldn't that be higher? You know why? I think the telling this is who they're asking and the financial, because the Supreme Court has been giving businesses more and more leeway to be ridiculous. So it sounds like some people were like, well, yeah, okay, well, maybe they're going to take away voting rights, but man, I made a mint and I don't have to pay taxes on this money that I'm going to leave my kids. And so I can't really hate on the Supreme Court. That's what I think is happening here. 10%. I think if they were brutal across the board, it'd be higher. But I think since the people who are being given the store are like, look, if you own property, and I made a law saying you can beat a puppy with a mallet. Everybody's like, that is outrageous. I can't believe you will make a law like that. But if I also made a law saying, oh, you didn't have to pay any taxes and you got to keep all this and you could rob from these people, you would be like, I made $100 million off of him, like in the last 10 years or whatever. So yeah, you shouldn't be able to beat a buck. No, how bad is it? And the poor people are like, I'm giving him a scale of 1 to 10. I'm giving him a rating of 2, right? But the rich people would be like, yeah, that's outrageous, but quite frankly, I did really well, so I'm going to give him a rating of 7. And that augments. And then when the strike comes, when the numbers come out, you can't believe that more people, for unknown reasons to you, like the guy. That's what that 10 points tells me. Everybody hates him, but only by 10 points, right? I really hate the bully, but the bully did do, you know, he beat up somebody for me, and he always shops at my store and tips well, right? So now I make $1,000 off the bully too. But I don't like the way he talks to women, and he's mean. But the drunk, right? And he's a big bully to drink. I don't like the way he talks to women. But when he comes in, he buys everybody rounds and shots, and he spends money. So yeah, I don't think he should go to jail, because if I really think about it, my monthly income just from him alone will drop $3,000. It's that kind of thing. But the people who don't own the shop are like, he's a bully and he attacks people and he's a piece of crap. But this whole thing tells me there's an economic end to this modest 10-point drop that they're telling me about. Decline approval, loss of confidence seen among all party groups. All party groups. Whew. All right, here we go. Compared with reading last year and earlier this year, Republicans, Democrats, and independents are all less likely to say they approve the job the Supreme Court is doing. The Republicans, Democrats, and independents are all less likely to say that they approve of the job the Supreme Court is doing. Wow. And say that they have a great deal of or a fair amount of confidence in the federal judiciary. Most people don't know shit about the federal judiciary. And those people who do, I think that it's like the FBI and the attorney generals putting bad guys in jail. So you want to be like for that, but they also, I mean, they let a lot of stuff slide and they shouldn't have. And now you have to go back and look at some people. Job approval among each of three party groups is either 12 or 30% lower than it was a year ago. Okay, so everybody's dropping. For Republicans and Democrats, about half of the decline was evident in July's survey. This is the thing that I'm telling you about. This kind of everybody hates my party, I hate my own party kind of shit. It's how you got Obama. I'm willing to give the black guy a shot in this racist society, and how you got Trump. I'm willing to give the billionaire who don't take money from private corporations a shot in this thing. It's looking for, and now you're back to like 90 ridiculous, same old, same old. But don't get it wrong, people are still looking. People are, they want, and who knows, maybe they'll be like, you know what, I'm willing to give that woman a chance, right? That black woman a chance. That, and it's going to get more and more like whatever people think shouldn't be president, down, down, down the ladder until someone solves it. And I hope someone does, because I think the hardest thing to do is be the first. So now that you had a first black president, right? I think it's easy to have a lady president, right? First Latino president, first Jewish president, right? You sort of rip the band-aid off. But the thing here is, you don't just want them to be that in name only and be the same type of political philosophy to come in and eject you from society. Quite right. Uh, People are being more and more homeless people, right? But everybody's not feeling the independent, not feeling the Republicans, not feeling their own Democrats, and not even the independents are like, I'm not happy with being an independent. And the remainder has occurred since then. While the decline among Democrats have been seen only since July survey. Why are you only doing this in July? What was it before July? When it comes to confidence, the federal judiciary, Republicans show a much steeper drop from a year ago than Democrats or independents do, perhaps because of the change in the partisan power structure in Washington. Why are they unhappy? Why? Because it's what the president's Republican. The Congress was all Republican. The president's Democrat. The Congress was all Republican, and so is the judiciary. We just read 9 Supreme Court justices, of which 6 are Republican conservatives and 3 are liberal Democrats, or supposedly socially liberal, or they're supposed to be, right? Perhaps because of the change in the partisan power structure in Washington this year, the greater decline may also be a consequence of low Republican satisfaction with the way things are going in the U.S. more generally. All right, you know what? I'm just done with this thing. What is this? Want to read the last 2 paragraphs? Let's read the last 2 paragraphs. That's to finish this thing off nicely. All right. The change in approval and confidence in U.S. Supreme Court by political party. U.S. adults. 2021, September 2020, July 2021, September 2021. What? Wait a minute. So this is 9 months, September to July, right? July is 7 months, the 7th month. September, October, November, December. Yeah, so okay, so that's 10 months. And then a 2 month You could have left out the July stats. You really could have. 53 to 40, 49 to 36, 53 to 41, and 57 to 45. 57 to 45. Good Lord. That's 12 points. 41 to 53. That's 12 points. 36 to 49. That's 13 of those. 40 to 53 is 13. All right. The decline in approval among Republicans may seem at odds with the court allowing the Texas abortion law to go into effect. I just said that. Given the most Republicans identify as pro-life and favor greater restrictions on abortion, abortion opponents hope the Texas law and similarly strict laws passed in Mississippi and other states will provide the Supreme Court with the opportunity to overturn the Roe v. Wade decision, which legalized abortion nationwide in 1971. By indeed, the court plans to hear arguments on the Mississippi law and its court terms. You know where I stand on this. I really do believe that they yank them every now and then just to make people more crazy and raise more money and tell them you're under assault and yada yada yada. And it's just look, listen. Are we going to be a nation of abortion or not? If no, fine. Just fucking be consistent about it, right? Are we gonna have abortion? Okay, fine. Just because stop raising money on this. Embrace whatever way it is, but this is the thing about it. And something tells me that if we're talking about Roe v. Wade, somebody's doing something else that they're not talking about. um, I think it's less a two-party system than it is a one-party system, which plays these weird games with like the populace. I think the people think it's a two-party system. I don't think it's a two-party system. The decline in approval among Republicans seem the odds right. Abortion opponents hope the Texas law. We just read that. Uh, so, will provide the Supreme Court with the opportunity to overturn the Roe v. Wade decision, which legalizes abortion nationwide. Indeed, the court plans to hear arguments over the Mississippi law in the coming term. Gallup polling from earlier this year found that Americans oppose overturning Roe v. Wade. Yeah, so the American public doesn't want it overturned. So why are you going to overturn it? So again, back to my original question: do they do whatever the fuck they want for what they think America should be, really for their friends, but what they think America should, or do they are they the voice and to amplify what the American people want, right? Even if it takes you longer to get there, but once it's there, I mean, you're restricting fucking voting rights, you ridiculous people. All right. I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. Gallup polling from earlier this year found that Americans oppose Roe v. Wade as well as bans on early abortions, right? Nothing like winning by dirty tricks. Support among American Republicans higher, but even as they divided over overturning Roe v. They are divided over overturning Roe v. Wade because here's the thing. It's mostly a women's issue, and women are in both parties. So yeah, it's that. And they're half of the society. So it's not like, oh, this is only going to affect 10% of people. Your logic affects half the society in both parties, right? A good percentage of in the party that doesn't want the thing, right? Even still, a good percentage of them get this right, and they don't, right? But even as they are divided over overturning Roe v. Wade and the type of restrictions on early term abortion enacted in those laws. Implications. Americans' opinion of the Supreme Court are now the words Gallup has measured in its polling on the institution of the past 2+ decades. At this point, less than a majority of Republicans, Democrats, and Independents approve of the job the court is doing. Barely half of Democrats and Independents are confident in it, while confidence is slightly higher among Republicans, slightly higher. The decision on Texas abortion law has received the most attention, but the High Court's recent emergency rulings on spam. I don't even know. All right. The decision on the Texas abortion law has received the most attention, but the High Court recent emergency ruling on college vaccines most on college vaccine mandate and the eviction moratorium were also controversial. The new court term beginning next month will include cases that deal with abortion and gun laws, issues that stir great passion in the U.S. and are certain to elicit strong pushback from people on the losing side of those decisions. Look, this is not hard, people. It really is not. But people make it hard. If the society is a free society, goes, we all 70% want this, then the people should get that. And they're like, yeah, no, you guys aren't ready for that. We're gonna keep doing XYZ nonsense to you because, quite frankly, fuck you. We're super elite one percenters and we do whatever we want. We run this place. And even as you look around the world and people are overthrowing governments and fucking getting ridiculous, and there's a whole history of nonsense and bullshit in this country. It doesn't make any sense to me. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. We talked about the Supreme Court being utterly ridiculous. And I guess that's it. I guess I'm gonna go come up with dinner. Here's the thing about streaming at 6:30. I get hungry just about like 7:30, and we had this conversation before, and I never eat, right? And then by the time I get off, I feel like it's a little too late for me to be eating. It's right. So I don't know, wham, wham, wham. Maybe I should move this whole thing to like 9 in the morning. I'm not gonna do that. Everybody just calm down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, trees and bushes, fish and fowl. I will see you in the next one, and the next one's tomorrow. I'm sure there's other stuff we could go through. Take care, William. It's good to see you. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a good night. Is there a Monday Night Football game on tonight? That can't be right. It's Thursday Night Football. We'll see what happens. I'll find a football game maybe. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we can stop this at 6:30 because we're here every day at 6:30, except for Sunday when we're here at 7:30 a.m. to talk about spiritual matters and all that good stuff. I did watch the game, the Patriots game, but I didn't see the last. I know this is bad. I did not see the last 15 minutes. I understand that the Patriots won, right? Did the Patriots win? I think they did. But the young man put up a good show. Oh no, the Patriots. Yeah, no, the Patriots lost. I'm thinking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady did win. Yeah. When did I check out of this game? 19-17. Yeah, right. Right. No, I did watch the whole game. Now I remember it because he kicked the field goal and it doinked off the left goal post. Right? Am I right? I was hoping. Yeah, it rained a little bit. Number 4 yards, 170, average 42, inside 20-0. Kicker. That's the point. The kicker. Points, 13 points. Your kicker got 13 points. Kick returns. Yep. My goodness. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna end this. Before on ESPN or is it on broadcast television? I could watch some football tonight, quite frankly. I miss when everything was on Watch Live. How? ABC? Yep, hold on. TV options. It says it's ABC, but it says NBC. Star blackout restrictions apply. NFL. I don't have NFL channel. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me. Have a good night. Man, I'm gonna watch that Chargers game. See, this is what happens when you try and cut back your how much sensory overload you get. So you cut back TV and cartoon gaming channels and all this and ESPN and Cartoon Network and get rid of all that stuff, and you're like, oh. And it's sort of like quit heroin. So the first few weeks, you're like, I want to watch something on TV, and then you got to do something after yourself, crossword puzzles and books and shit. And then you're off of it. And now, like every now and then, you're like, really want to watch nothing but football games, and that can't be allowed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me this evening. I hope you had a good Monday. I hope to see you guys tomorrow uh, in the next one. And the next one, like I said, is tomorrow, Tuesday the 5th, Taco Tuesday. I'm going to get tacos tomorrow. Uh, I'm thinking of what I'm going to have for dinner. I might just make it a pot pie. God, come on. All right, let's just end this. Uh, as the song says, let's just kiss and say goodbye. And I got to work on my B flat and my F chords because that's the mode that I'm in now. I want to have that down by Saturday because I think we're gonna bring back the Saturday show for guitar. Maybe I'll do Tuesday. Maybe Saturday will be something else. Because I was thinking about Tuesday guitar, not Tuesday, Wednesday guitar, middle of the week. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I know that my blisses are not world class enough. That means I'm not doing as hard as I should. But you remember, it takes a year and a half to learn an instrument. You can pick one up, right? The year and a half is going to come anyway, and if it doesn't come, then learning an instrument is the least of your problems, right? So, uh, yeah, we're over here writing songs and being ridiculous. Come get some. And we're talking politics relentlessly. Come get some. And we're wishing you well and hoping you do better in the next phase. Go get some in that regard. All right, so that is it for us. It is 8:17. I guess we're gonna call it here. We've been streaming for an hour and 30 minutes. Were the Manhattans from Manhattan? That's a good question. Was Boston from Boston? I think the band America was from America. Was Chicago from Chicago? Was the band Manhattan from Manhattan? Ugh, that is not good typing. Manhattans. The Manhattans, an American R&B group. Their word "Kiss and Say Goodbye," recorded in 1976 through 1980, Shining Star, both sold millions of copies. The Manhattan received for New Jersey, or origins, New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey. Maybe they wanted to be in Manhattan. The Manhattan's originally from New Jersey. The Manhattan's originally from Jersey City, New Jersey. Okay. See, now you got me down a weird rabbit hole. I could go for chicken smothered in chicken gravy over rice. And I've been craving that for like a week. I think I'm gonna have to make that tomorrow. Um, Chicago is an American rock band formed in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you just for that. What was the other ones? Chicago. There was Boston. There was Boston. I think those are the only ones bands I know who have names after places. The Boston is the eponymous debut studio album from American rock band Boston, produced by Tom Scott. Scott Piano, his tribe became involved in Boston music scene in the late 1960s. He subsequently started Okay, so they're from Boston. So Boston is from Boston. So we did Chicago, we did Boston. We did America. No, we didn't do America, but I'm pretty sure they're from America. Anybody else? I think those are the only ones I know. All right. So once again, it is 8:20, and we leave this one here. Where did my phone just go off? Yes, it did. Who left me a voicemail? Sweet Jeebus. All right. Let's get out of here before it gets worse. Thanks for coming through for some of the madness. Take care, William. Me and William say goodbye to all of you. Please like and subscribe. Become part of the goofy fun. That's what we're calling it, goofy fun. All right, we'll see you in the next one. The next one's tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Take care of yourself. Till next time.